There's got to be one around here somewhere. Maybe through here? Boom! Hi. What do you think? Not bad, not bad. Smells like maple. Yeah, my sauce kind of. Right, that'll be all right. I think I'll like it. Let it dry out a bit more maybe, and then cut it to the proper size. You always want to kind of let them dry a bit because they might crack, and then also glue the ends so that just to help prevent splitting. Alright, so I brought home the Treefork and I have this scrap piece of micarta. I'm going to cut the handle off where I desire, and then I will be sandwiching this in between with a pin. So I got a piece of sandpaper here, and I'm just gonna flatten out the ends better so that they fit more evenly. I'm also gonna sand both sides of this piece of micarta. Alright, so I'm going to take the pin and I stick it in the hole here. Then I'm going to put that in the other hole there. It'll look something like that, going through all three holes. So before going further, I'm just going to join these pieces together, and before I drill the hole in that guy, I want to make sure that I mark where the pin is going to stop, right there. So I'll mark the piece of wood right there, because I don't want to have too much hollow, but the pin's got to fit as well, obviously. So I'm just going to mark that roughly. See that? And then I'm going to take my drill, and I'm going to guesstimate where it's going to go in. And I'm just going to drill that out so that it's all going to fit in there. So I got to drill it a little more. You see that gap? Better to drill less than more. Just a touch more. All right, there we go. So I just want to make sure that there's no gaps in between. I do have some pigment that I'm going to be mixing in with some epoxy, which should hide a few little blemishes, whatever, if there is any spaces in between the micarta and the wood. Yeah. Gonna add a little liner. Why not? All right, so we have all the pieces prepped, and all we got to do now is make sure that everything is going to properly fit one last time. So I'm going to just put it all together like so, and then as you can see, that's what it'll be. So now I just need to epoxy it all. Got some 2-part epoxy. I'm also going to use some black pigment. All right, so I got the black pigment mixed in with the epoxy, just like so, and it's gonna go in there like so. And I'm gonna take one of these liners and I just sort of use the liner to spread it on the wood piece, and then I'm going to use the wood to spread it on the liner. Could have wore a glove, I guess. That's okay. And then I got that started. Gloopy gloppy amount on both sides, like so. I also want to get it in the hole. Make sure that that's all covered in there, and that make sure that all the holes, little divots and stuff, get epoxy in them. And once that's done, I just have to do the liners. So that'll have some gloopy gloppy epoxy. Doesn't have to be pretty because it's all going to get sanded down anyways. I put that on there like so. I think that was the way that I wanted it. And I pick up the liner. Pick up the liner that I dropped. More of that epoxy on there. I go like so with that. And then the only thing that's left is to find my stick here. Get the remaining amount of epoxy on there. Get the remaining amount of epoxy on there. And then once that's done, so like so, making sure that there's plenty of epoxy in that hole. Cover this part of the wood there. Once that is done, I can squish it all together like so. Now we just gotta find a way to clamp it all together. Not like it's ever gonna come apart. So there you have it. Be like that. Gotta dry it, and I'll cut everything off. Could have done that prior, but whichever. So you can see how I have that all clamped up, sort of clamped up, tied up, so that it all stays pressed together. Now I'm just gonna undo that. It's like opening up a Christmas present. Okay, now I just got to cut this piece off the excess, and then I'm gonna shorten the forks and the handle a little bit, and then it'll be ready for shaping. Okay, so now I've cut off some of the excess. I'm going to start to grind this piece of micarta down, and then I'm going to shape it. It should be done shortly. Alright, so we pretty much got all the shaping done. All that's left is to sand it down, and if I want to change the shape up, I can always go back and forth and do that, but I'm just going to start out with some 220 grit sandpaper and start moving up. Okay, so it's coming along. Before I go any further with the 220 grit, I'm going to add some band grooves with a microfile wherever I put that. I gotta look for it, but I'm gonna add some band grooves, band slots, whatever you call them. So I just finished up with the 220 grit sandpaper. Now I've got some 320 grit sandpaper, and I'm gonna give her. So I put a coat of oil on it. Let it sit overnight. Probably put another coat on in the morning. I have this old rusty can of oil here. I'm just gonna drench it, and then once I do that, it's going to sit until it's dry. Once it's dry, I will band it up and take it out and shoot it. Yeah. Here it is all finished up. The oil's all dry, everything's in place. I've just got to grab some bands and tie them on. I'm gonna go take a few shots. It's got a few blemishes that I probably could have touched up a little more, but it's gonna work for what it is. It's got a little spot right there that I could have sanded more. It's kind of lazy on that part. Would have had to shape the whole bottom if I did that, reshape it. The band slots are a little bit shoddy, but for my own purposes, it's gonna work out all right. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some Slingshot bands and tie those on and go take a few shots. So here it is all banded up, and I'm gonna use this for a target. Knock on wood. I gotta find it. Wherever it went, it kind of exploded. Anyway, thanks for joining the video. Thanks for watching. Maybe make another video soon. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe, and I'll give you some close-ups. Well, I thought it exploded, which it did, but just barely at the top there. Anyway, fun stuff. Turned out pretty good. I don't think that did it. It's just too light. Where'd it go again? Where'd it go again? There it is. There it is. There it is. It's just too light of a setup. Anyways, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Fun stuff.